Neon lights flickered wildly, reflecting off a floor covered in sauce and exploded jelly. A warped, slow choo-choo echoed from somewhere far away, like it too was stuck in the belly of a nightmare. Thomas jolted awake, not in the station, not on the island of Sodor, but in the middle of a giant dining hall, where dancing food, glowing candy, and soda cups were literally wrestling on the table. "Am I dreaming?" Thomas muttered, eyes scanning the room. This wasn't any kitchen he'd seen before. The walls were plastered with photos of him and Charles, mukbang style. Faces smeared with sauce, mouths stuffed with mystery meat, eyes wide with chili-induced trauma. Pop! A sound came from behind. Little Charles dropped from the ceiling like a ninja made of napkins. In his hand, a raw egg, and in his eyes, pure chaos. "Welcome to the Stomach Showdown Arena," blared a voice from the speakers. Ban appeared on a giant screen. Chef hat crooked, hands on his hips like he'd just won MasterChef. "Tonight, our special guests must eat, cook, compete, or be eaten." Thomas took a step back. "I just came here to watch cartoons." Smack! The egg cracked on Thomas's head. Yolk slid down his face like dignity going down a drain. Charles rolled on the floor, laughing. "That's for calling me a knockoff." Thomas's jaw clenched, eyes steaming. A spark of electricity zapped off his back wheel. "All right, Charles, you want to play? Let's play." The floor shook. Buttons popped out from the ground. Hot sauce, LVL 99, singing pizza, exploding spaghetti. Ban shouted, "Let the games begin." Thomas, still covered in egg, grinned with vengeance in his eyes. He chuckled darkly. Someone's childhood is about to get digested. The first round hit like a stomachache. A countdown clock dropped from the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Cook-off exploding spaghetti challenge. Ban yelled, clapping his oddly sticky hands. Out of nowhere, dozens of flying pasta noodles launched across the room. A meatball the size of a soccer ball rolled straight into Charles's face, sending him flying into a vat of marinara. Thomas ducked just in time, then looked down to see a plate had been strapped to his chest, like a time bomb. A screen on it read, "Failed to cook with instant sauce detonation." "What kind of mukbang horror show is this?" Thomas shouted, slapping meatballs onto a frying pan that was already on fire. "I'm a train, not a chef." Meanwhile, Charles was wearing a spaghetti strainer as a helmet, holding 2 baguettes like swords. "I was born for this," he yelled, riding a rolling plate cart straight into the ingredient wall. From above, Ban cackled, "Bonus challenge, catch the flying pickle for 1,000 points." Flying pickle zipped past. Thomas swatted at it. Missed, got hit in the face by a slapjack pancake instead. Then things got weirder. A door in the side wall creaked open, revealing a dark lab glowing with green candy vapor. Inside were test tubes filled with jelly beans that blinked. A sign above the door read, "Candy X experiment. Do not eat seriously." Of course, Charles saw it. "Bet those taste like sour apple," he said, reaching for a glowing red gummy worm. "No," Thomas yelled. "This is how horror movies start." Too late, Charles bit into it. For a moment, nothing happened. Then his eyes glowed neon green. He levitated 3 feet off the ground. His voice echoed like a demon and an anime villain at the same time. "I can taste everything in the universe." Then he passed out. Thomas groaned. "This is why I watch documentaries." Suddenly, a panel rose from the floor. A glowing red self-destruct button with a sign taped on it. "Do not press unless you really want to see chaos." Ban leaned in from his monitor, grinning. "Whoops, forgot that was still active. Oh well, choose wisely, chefs." Thomas stared at the button, then at Charles, twitching on the ground, still mumbling about gummy worms and garlic bread dimensions, then at his own plate, smoking. Steam rose. The countdown beeped again. The room darkened, and Thomas muttered the 4 words no train should ever say. "I'm pressing the button." Thomas slammed the button. Everything stopped. No music, no food noises, even the flying pickles froze mid-air. Then the lights turned red. A loud system override, gluttony mode engaged, echoed across the room. From the center of the dining hall, the floor split open. Steam hissed. A dark platform rose slowly from the depths. On it stood another Thomas. But this one wasn't right. His body was half-melted chocolate, eyes glowing molten orange like burnt sugar. Noodles dripped from his wheels like veins. And worst of all, he smiled, wide, cracked, and empty. "Cursed Thomas has entered the kitchen," Ban whispered like a sports commentator at the end of the world. Normal Thomas took a step back. "That's not me, right?" Charles, who had just recovered from his sugar meltdown, screamed, "That's you if you ate all the food and none of the feelings." Cursed Thomas lunged. The next 30 seconds were chaos in 12 flavors. Thomas flipped backward behind a table of exploding tacos. Charles ducked under a flying kebab skewer, grabbed a baguette blade, and yelled, "To the pantry, brother!" They fought back with whatever they could find. Chili grenades, jelly bean nunchucks, a flamethrower made from pressurized mustard. But Cursed Thomas was relentless, swallowing a Kit Kat whole and breathing sugar smoke. Ban, now floating on a candy drone, munched popcorn. This is better than Netflix. Then, as Cursed Thomas closed in, something unexpected happened. James entered, wearing a sandwich tower-like armor. "You called me fat," he roared. "Well, I ate that insult and turned it into power." With a mighty leap, James body slammed Cursed Thomas into a pile of nuclear tater tots. The explosion sent whipped cream flying like snow, but the cursed version wasn't done. He twitched, rebooting, data flickering in his eyes. Thomas turned to Charles. "We can't beat him, but maybe we can feed him." Charles blinked. "You're gonna win by feeding a food monster more food? Not just more, the forbidden food." They looked at the glowing candy lab door. One last gummy worm remained, pulsating, wrapped in duct tape labeled "Do Not Eat Seriously." Thomas and Charles launched the worm like a missile straight into Cursed Thomas's mouth. Time slowed. He chewed, paused, burped, then exploded in a blinding flash of frosting and pixels. Silence. A floating golden chef's crown descended from the ceiling. Ban coughed through the smoke. "Well, guess we found our winners." James, Thomas, and Charles stood covered in pudding and pride. Thomas wiped frosting off his eye. "That was the weirdest mukbang of my life." Charles laughed. "Next time we just do cereal, okay?" Ban flew down, placing the crown on Thomas's head. "Congrats, Chef Supreme of the Kitchen of Chaos." A banner dropped behind them. "You survived mukbang hell, barely." The camera zoomed out. The kitchen rebooted itself. And in the deepest part of the lab, a screen flickered on. "Cursed Edward, loading."